Good evening, everybody. Welcome to your Tuesday evening Facebook Live. My name is Sarah Edwards, and I come to you guys live every Tuesday and Thursday to show you a fun new project. So last Thursday I was not here because we were knee-deep in our first weekend's retreat, and this Thursday starts our second weekend retreat. So I won't be live again on Thursday, but I will be back the next Tuesday and Thursday to show you guys some fun new projects. I left the craft room door open, well, the RV garage door open, because I have a heater on in there right now. It was so chilly today. I shouldn't complain because we did not get 20 inches of 20 inches of snow, but it was still chilly for us in Arizona. So I have a heater going, so when I come out in the morning, hopefully it's not as chilly. Good evening, Heather. Welcome. If you're just logging on, say hi so I know you're here. Hopefully the echo in the back doesn't distract us too much. Sorry, I'm trying to find the Facebook app on my iPad. Oh, there it is. I literally thought it had disappeared. Could not find it. I'm just going to make sure we are live on my iPad, and it's deciding to be funny right now. No clue what is up with it. Well, hopefully we'll have an iPad. But good evening, Susan. Good evening, Valerie. Hopefully you guys had a great weekend and a great day. So today's project, if you guys happen to have your catalogs handy, turn to page 40 because I think this is a hidden gem that's in there, and it's on in the mini catalog on page 40. It is super cute and fun. I don't think we're going to be having the iPad today. Let me see if it is on my phone, and it is. So hopefully I'll be able to hear comments or read comments and stuff on my phone. We'll put that in front of me. We'll see how it goes. Technology, you gotta love it. So good evening, Anna. Let me point you guys down because hopefully we have time to make 4 cards. We're going to cross our fingers. Let me pull this in really quick, and then we will point you down. Okay, so here is page 40 in the catalog. It's called Amazing Silhouettes Bundle. At first, there's no sentiments in the stamp set, and at first I was like, I don't know, I really enjoy sentiments in my stamps. But then I actually didn't even notice that it has thanks, amazing you dies in here, and they're 2-step dies. I don't know if you can see up here how they have the 2-tone colors, but it's a 2-step die, and it is absolutely beautiful. I am in love with this set. So I wanted to bring in the dies. We're actually going to be using all of them, but I'm going to show you how to cut the thanks out for the first card we're going to be making. And here's the stamp set. You get 3 beautiful images. And I wanted to bring in a couple extra little pieces that we're going to be using. So this is called foam adhesive sheets. So it's pretty much very similar to our dimensionals, but it's a full sheet. And you can peel one side off and then put your paper on and run it through the embossing machine, and it gives it the thickness of a dimensional. So we're going to be using those today. And then these are like a godsend. This is a must-have in your craft room. They're adhesive sheets, and they come 6 by 12, and you can cut them down to whatever size you need. But it's sticky on both sides. So you peel one side off, similar to the adhesive sheets, and you stick it down to whatever color cardstock you're using. You can kind of see the little gap right here. I didn't quite get it over to the edge. And then when you run it through the embossing machine, your paper now has stickiness on the other side, and you don't have to worry about using your green glue and getting green glue everywhere. So these are a definite must-have in your craft room. So let's see who is just logging on. Hello, Peyton. How are you? I think I've seen everybody else. I'm on my phone. For some reason, my iPad is telling me to re-enter my password, so apparently we're not using my iPad today. So hopefully I'll still be able to read comments. Okay, so the designer series paper we're using is Simply Marvelous, and I've used this a couple times during Facebook Lives. We're using it during the retreats. It is just beautiful designer series paper. So you have the marble look on one side, and when you flip it over, depending on what color it is, it kind of reminds me of like some clouds in the sky. I don't really know exactly what it is, but it's just absolutely gorgeous. So this is free with a $50 order. So you get a free 6x6 designer series paper pack. And let me bring in the card we're going to be making today. So the one amazing thing about, do you like how I used amazing? Because that's the name of the stamp set. About Stampin' Up's products is you don't really have to do a whole lot to make a simply gorgeous card. I brought in the card base. I brought in some colored cardstock, more basic white, and our designer series paper, our ink, a stamp, and a little bit of die cutting. Super duper easy to make an absolute stunning card. And you actually have enough to do your envelope if you cut your designer series paper like that. So this is what we're going to be making. Hopefully we have enough time to make them in all the colors. If not, we will at least get what we can done, and then I will post the rest of the pictures later. Okay, so I brought in the thanks, and I am going to bring in my mini embossing machine because these are super tiny dies. Try to say that 10 times fast. And it'll work. So I'm going to put in my plates. And I already have the adhesive sheets on one side. So I'm going to bring in the thinner thanks die. And I'm just going to lay it down. And I am going to put the top over it. And make sure it's lined up. And run this through. Okay, so it doesn't look like my chat is going to be up, but I see Vicky, I see Marie. Hello, ladies. So I always run it back through just for good measures. I think one time's enough, but you never know. So I'm going to set that aside, and I'm going to bring in the foam sheets. So I cut this down in strips just so I could make sure I didn't waste all of the sheets on one color. So I didn't know exactly what colors I wanted to do. So I ran all the other ones through already, and I just cut it down into strips so I could get more out of it. So as you can see, I stuck it down and it sticks on one side, and we're going to peel the back off and it'll stick to our card. I'm going to put the thanks on there. And yes, you can run the adhesive or the foam sheets through your embossing machine. It literally doesn't take any more effort. So I'm just going to hold the top, and I'm going to wheel it through, and just for good measures, I'm going to bring it back out. And it will stick to the top of your plate, but you see how it cut straight through? Oh, this is amazing stuff. So I'm going to pull this off, and now put this away. Okay, so now here we are left with the bottom thanks. And then I'm going to bring in this piece, and it popped out all automatically. So I'm just going to come in with my little poker tool and gently pull this out. And it comes out pretty easy. And there's really nothing we have to poke out. So now I'm going to pull off the backing, and this is what's going to make it sticky. So when I pull this backing off, we will now have a sticker. And you can see it's already, oh, as it fell, is literally sticking to my finger because all of it has adhesive on it. So now I'm just going to line this up, and it's really not difficult to line up. It actually goes pretty quickly. And I know Vicky actually just got this set for the retreat, so I'm pretty sure she's going to be making some of these. Look how easy that was. And now I would recommend leaving it on here until you're ready to put it on your card. Because if you peel this off and it's not ready to go on the card, it could get a little cattywampus. So I'm going to set that aside and bring in our card bases. So this one I'm using Flirty Flamingo. So we have our cardstock. This is 4 by 5 1/4. We have our basic white that is 3 3/4 by 5. And then we have our designer series paper that's 3 1/2 by 3 3/4. All the measurements are written down. I know I went through that pretty fast, so you don't have to remember those. But now, literally, all we have to do is assemble this and then do a little bit of stamping, and we're done. And you have just created a beautiful card. Glue this down. You could definitely add some ribbon to this if you wanted to. I just wanted to keep it simple and sweet. And let me bring in the card base, and we'll go ahead and glue this to our card base. And I cut the cardstock 4 1/4 by 11, and I scored it at 5 1/2. So it's going to be a top open fold card. I don't know if that's the technical term, but it's going to open like this. Okay, so that is all done. So let's bring in a scrap piece of basic white. I actually did not put that in the description that you do want a scrap piece of basic white. It doesn't really matter the size because we're going to trim it down a little bit. And I'm going to bring in the Flirty Flamingo and this beautiful butterfly. I thought the butterfly was going to be gorgeous in Flirty Flamingo. So I'm just going to ink this up, and I'm going to come in, and I don't think I want them stamped perfectly straight. I got a little halo. Let's flip that over. Let's try that again. I think I pushed too hard or I rocked. Let's try it again. Perfect. I have noticed that a lot of my images or a lot of my inks have needed to be re-inked. I don't know if it's because of the weather or what, but I cannot believe how much I've had to re-ink this weekend. Okay, so I'm just going to stamp another one at the bottom, but I put a piece of paper underneath just to be safe. And I actually want to come up top. I don't know, we're going to cut it a little bit, so I don't know if it's even going to show, but just to make sure. That's all the stamping we're going to do. So I'm going to bring in my trimmer. And I want to trim this down to 2 inches. Right now I think it's 2 1/4. So I'm going to just take 1/8 of, what size is it? It's 2 1/2. So I want to take it down to 2 1/4. So I'm just going to take a smidgen off each side. And I did this because I wanted to make sure that I got everything even. And this is 5 1/2, and I actually want to take that down to 4 1/2. So I'm going to take a piece off the bottom, flip it around, and let me just triple check and make sure that it is supposed to be 4 1/2. Hold that thought. Yep, or 4 3/4. That's what it is. And see, you didn't really need that much on the top, but I just wanted to make sure. Oh, I was right the first time. It was 3 1/2. So my concept was making sure all of it has the 1/4 of an inch gap. Okay, I almost cut that one wrong. There we go. So now you have the 1/4 of an inch gap on all of your sides. Hopefully that makes sense. And I didn't do it beforehand because I wanted to make sure everything was centered. So I'm literally going to glue this down. Now I'm going to come in with the thanks. Gently pull this up. And your backing should stick to the piece, or it should come off pretty easy. See, the backing is on there. So now your whole thing is sticky. I want to pull this little guy out. And hello, Martine. Hello, Natalie. I'm on my phone. My iPad has decided not to want to play nice today. Hello, Carol. Okay, I'm just going to lay that right there. Bring in a few diamonds. And bam, you've got a card. And you really didn't have to do much. Put a couple diamonds on there. Bring in your envelope. And this one is the Flirty Flamingo. So here's the Flirty Flamingo, and here's the gorgeous grape. Don't know which one I like better so far. But there's a little trick that you can do with this set as well. So let me glue these fun pieces together, and I'll show you the little trick. So sometimes I think thank you is more appropriate than just thanks. I think thanks is totally fine. I love the word. I say it in text messages. I say it a lot, but sometimes you really need a thank you. So I created this using the same stuff to say thank you instead of just thanks. So I'm going to lay that down. And I actually think I'm going to pull in this larger image. Let's stamp it in basic gray. And I wasn't sure which ones I was going to do, so that's why I didn't pre-stamp these other guys. So I'm going to, because it's a larger image, I sometimes like to stamp this way just to make sure I'm getting the right coverage. I'm going to stamp this right in the center. There we go. Oh, look, that one looks like it needs to be re-inked as well. Let me bring in my trimmer. And I know this does seem like it's a little cumbersome to trim all of these, but I just felt it was a little bit easier. This one I'm going to take down to 2 inches, but we're going to still do the 4.5. Spots. There we go. And because they're larger images, you may not be able to get it super straight if you don't trim it after you stamp. That's actually why I did it, because the first couple times I did it, I couldn't get it stamped right. There we go. Okay, so now here is the little fun part that I came up with. I just dropped all the dies. Okay, so it says thanks. So what I did is I went ahead and ran all of it through, but before I'm going to take this off, I cut off the S. So let's pull this off. So now we can use both images in one card that says thank you. So there's thank. And I actually might put it up a tiny bit higher so I can put the U underneath it. Oh, this one's super tiny, so the whole thing popped out. There we go. Sorry, that was a little awkward silence because I was trying to concentrate and not drop it. And I think I dropped my diamonds when my dies fell. Good thing I have another pack right up here. So these ones are a little bit smaller, but it's okay. They're still diamonds. So there you go. So now you can not only say thanks, like on these two, you can also say thank you. I thought it was super cute and a great idea. So let's see. Oh, we have a little bit of time. Should we do Bermuda Bay or Misty Moonlight? We might only have time to do one more. Thank you, Martine. If you're just logging on, my iPad is not working so well, so I'm on my phone and trying to do this. Should we do Misty Moonlight or Bermuda Bay? What stamp set is that? Can you put in the measurements? Yes, Marie, the measurements are always in the description of the Facebook Live. But the stamp set is Amazing Silhouettes, and it has a bundle, so it comes with all of these dies, and it's 10% off. Okay, Bermuda Bay. Let's do Bermuda Bay. I've already done the envelope for the Bermuda Bay one, too. Oh, Stephanie says Misty Moonlights. Okay, so we will see what we can come up with. And I actually want to do, oh, let's do this image. We haven't done this one yet. We'll do this one in the Bermuda Bay. Hopefully we don't need to re-ink this one. And this one I actually think I'm going to stamp straight on. And yeah, let's flip that over. Let's push this up a little bit. Even though we're going to cut some off, I just want to make sure I get everything on there. There we go. And I think the sentiment is going to go right in the center. Oh, gonna be cute. Bring in the trimmer. So we're going to take off 1/8 of an inch on both sides. And you can determine how much you want to take off or leave. I just did a little bit, just kind of making sure I'm getting a lot of the images. Let's do a little bit more this way. Sorry, I know that's a bit confusing. There we go. Get that out of the way. Let's glue all these pieces together. I think my Tombow is running out. And you could use either side of this paper as well. You don't have to just use the marble side. But I thought that side looked the best. There we go. Put that right in the center or off to the side. And I already have Amazing You. This one's a big, long one. So it's going to take a minute to get it out. You don't want to pull too hard because you don't want it to get all wonky. So that's going to go, oh my goodness. Amazing You. Okay, these cards are so fun. I am so glad I decided to do all these colors. So stinking cute. Okay, let's grab a couple diamonds. And you know what? We actually might have a little bit of time. I might just go ahead and put the last one together. I like to do the lives right about 30 minutes because I know you guys have a busy schedule and a busy life, and I don't want to keep you from that. So I'm just going to quickly do it. We still have a couple seconds, couple minutes. So this is Amazing Silhouette stamp set, stamp bundle, and all the dimensions for these cards are always in the description. And it's also on YouTube. So if you search Sarah Edwards Stampin' Up, I believe it is. We were looking at it this weekend. All of my Facebook Lives go to YouTube, and it will always send you a message or an alert when I upload a new photo. So that is something to keep an eye out for. I'm actually going to use this same larger image, so let me clean it really quick. I have my little cleaning pad beside me, and we're going to do this in Misty Moonlight. Ink it up. I like to flip it over because it's a large image. And this is actually a brand new ink pad. So this one is going to be nice and juicy. Perfect. Oh, simply gorgeous. I don't know how well Facebook does the coloring, but this one is really pretty. So this one I'm going to cut down to 2 inches. I am cutting a little bit of the edging off, but I really want it to stand out and just be the focal point. So I'll come down here and I'm going to make this 4.5. So this one is 4.5 by 2. That's what I thought was best. But it was too hard to stamp the image right in the center of this tiny of a piece. So that's why I decided to cut it down on the live. Oh yes. Simply beautiful. And I already did the Amazing You. Whoops. Trying to gently pull this off. You probably need to make sure you have fingernails or use your take your pick tool. That would work too. Let's put this one down at the bottom. And let's grab the U. Oh, he's going to be a little wonky, but that's okay. We're gonna make them fit right there. It's not hanging off the card, so that's all that matters. Okay, let's add a couple jewels, and then I will show you all the cards that we did. And I found the large ones that I was using originally. They didn't fall. They were on the counter under something else. There we go. Thank you, Stephanie. Okay, so let's bring in the envelopes. Let me scoot you back a hair. You might see my messy table, and that's totally okay. So this one is Misty Moonlight. This one is Bermuda Bay. Let's see, Gorgeous Grape. Oh, there it is. There's our Gorgeous Grape. We have Basic Gray. And this one is Flirty Flamingo. So there you go. There are all of your cards tonight. And this set is so easy. Like, seriously, I don't know how Stampin' Up! Comes up with all of these projects. All you need is stamp, inks, paper, and a little bit of die cutting, and you have an amazing card. So hopefully you guys enjoyed today's card. I will not be back on Thursday because Thursday is the start of our second retreat. So if you are interested in knowing more about the retreats, definitely let me know. You can always stop by if you're in Peoria, Arizona. You can stop by and say hi and realize that we're not crazy. Well, we might be crazy, but we're crazy crafting ladies. And yes, they're so much fun. So we would love for you guys to stop by and see what we're doing. If you need anything, please feel free to let me know. I will be up for a few more hours, and then it is retreat time. Okay, we'll talk to you guys soon. Have a good night. Bye-bye.